Now, with regards to Salat al-Eid, I think there's a few important things for us to remember, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. First and foremost, there are some different views whether you will pray Salatul Eid or not. Okay, there are some views that fall into that it has similar conditions to Jum'ah, and if they're not fulfilled, then you just pray. If you don't pray Jum'ah, then you pray Dhuhr at home. There's no replacement for Eid, so you don't pray Eid. There is also a view that you can pray Salatul Eid at your home. And this was the practice of Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu, the great companion of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Al-Bukhari, he mentions this in his Sahih, in the form of Mu'allaq Hadith, but it is mentioned in his Sahih. And there was an occasion where Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu missed the Eid prayer. So he gathered his family in his home and they prayed Salatul Eid together. There's a few issues just to make clear how this is actually done. The person may say, well, Anas radiallahu anhu prayed it when he missed it. There will be Eid in some masajid, albeit on a very, very small scale, maybe established. Therefore, some ulama, they permit for you to pray Salatul Eid at home because you've missed it. You can't establish it in the masajid. So therefore, inshallah ta'ala, you're allowed to establish it at home. Now, how you establish it is the same way that you pray in the masjid, inshallah ta'ala, ordinarily. So you start the salah with takbirat al-ihram, and then after that you say 6 more. I know there's another view which is entitled to that, there's 4 takbirat in the first one and then there's 4 in the second, but there's also another view. Both are valid, inshallah ta'ala. So in the first rak'ah you say 7 takbirat, Allahu Akbar, okay, and then each time you can raise your hands as well, Allahu Akbar, so you do that 7 times. And then you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and then it was the practice of the Prophet ﷺ to recite Surah Al-A'la, Sabbih isma rabbika al-A'la. And then you finish the rak'ah. And then you say Allahu Akbar and you come up for the second rak'ah. When you're standing up straight, you say Allahu Akbar 5 times. And then you recite Surah Al-Fatiha. And then you recite Hal Ataka Hadithul Ghashiyah, Surah Al-Ghashiyah. And then you finish the salah. Okay? This is how you pray Salatul Eid. Now, remembering that it is important for us to prepare for the salah, as usually we would do. So you wear your best clothes, you have a bath, you wear perfume, okay, and it was the practice of the Prophet ﷺ before going for Salatul Eid that he would eat something sweet, he would eat some odd number of dates. So this is a good sunnah. Even though you're in your own home, eat some dates to show that you're not fasting on this day. Don't come to salah not having eaten or drinking anything. So have some dates, inshallah ta'ala. I'm sure you have some dates left over from the month of Ramadan. So have that before you make your salah. There's the second issue. So you celebrate Eid as you would normally. Another issue is with regards to its timings. Now, when do you pray Salatul Eid? It is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ that Eid would be prayed after sunrise by about 15 or 20 minutes. So once the sunrise has come in, and then about 15 or 20 minutes, that's the starting time for Salatul Eid, and can be offered all the way up to approximately 10 minutes before Salatul Dhuhr. So if you agree as a family, we're going to pray Eid prayer at 9 a.m., it's absolutely fine, inshallah ta'ala. If you all agree, we want to pray a little bit earlier, we want to pray at 7 a.m., you're entitled to do that. So you agree as a family, inshallah ta'ala, what time you're going to pray Salatul Eid, and that is the time that you offer it. So that's the time frame, that's how you offer it, and it has precedent from the actions of the companions, radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, that is Anas ibn Malik, radiyallahu anhu, and essentially prepare yourself as you normally would for the day of Eid. Remembering to say lots of takbirat on the night of Eid. So Saturday night after Salat al-Maghrib, that you saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd, and like this, okay? Likewise in the morning, you make lots of takbir, praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then you prepare yourselves to offer Salat al-Eid. However many people at home. Let's say, for example, there's only a husband and wife, okay? The husband, he stands at the front and his wife just behind, okay? If there are 2 men and like a mother and a father and 1 child, a son, for example, then the son will pray next to his father as you pray normal Salatul Jama'ah, and then the mum would pray behind. If there are a mother and a father and a daughter, then it's the father at the front and then the mother and daughter praying just behind. If there are more in number, then likewise with the regulations with Salatul Jama'ah, then the one who's leading the prayer will be at the front, and then if there's 2 or more men, then they form that line, and then the females behind that. Okay. So this is the formation of the rows in your home. There is no khutbah for the Eid Salah. There is no khutbah that is offered in the Eid Salah. You just offer the 2 rak'ah and that's it, inshallah ta'ala. The khutbah is offered in the main congregational jami' or outside if there's a big congregation, that is offered. But if you're praying at home, there is no khutbah offered. So with regards to Salatul Eid, inshallah, we said it's allowed for you to establish and pray in your homes. And you offer it in the same way that you would have offered it in the masjid, with the takbirat, or the saying of Allahu Akbar, 7 in the first rak'ah, 5 in the second, if you pray it that way, or 4 and 4 in the first and second rak'ah. There's different ways of praying it, but there's a number of takbirat that are said at the time of the salah. If you recite Surah Al-A'la and Surah Al-Ghashiyah, if you've memorized those. If you haven't memorized those, you can recite another chapter, no problem, inshallah, la haraj. As I mentioned, there are other views that you don't pray it, and that's a legitimate view. But for those who are going to pray it, inshallah ta'ala, that's essentially how you pray it. You can pray after sunrise by about 20 minutes, and you have up until 10-15 minutes before Salatul Dhuhr that you can offer, and it's 2 rak'ah. Allahu a'lam.